It's officially been too long. I've been sitting and waiting and thinking and salivating just to make a video about Starship Goldfish, and now it is finally time. Go and watch episodes 0 to 2, then come back. Oh, you're back. Did you watch the episodes? Okay, good. Then to recap, Starship Goldfish is an animated sci-fi comedy created by Jason Waite. The series follows sociopath and recent brain YP Sam Sweetmilk as he flies across the galaxy, throwing himself into danger for nothing more than shits and giggles. Assuring he doesn't get into too much danger is his robot dad, Ghostworth. It's a fucked up family tree. He's not his biological father, of course, but he plays the role of one, keeping his crackhead of a son from headbutting every living creature with more than 3 eyes. Or 3 eyes. Or less than 3 eyes. Joining them on their adventures, sometimes, kinda, not really, is Vela Sightlar, the badass, amazingly competent, starry-eyed space lady who is invited to none of the adventures. And last but not least, a bird. No, not that kind of bird. Think more Darth Vader. There you go. The Avianaut is a bloodthirsty ball of power and rage. A being that will stop at no ends to reach his goal, and will shoot whoever he needs to if they dare to get in his way. An unstoppable creature with a pure and complete hatred for technological life, and will stop at nothing to eradicate it. He's pretty cool. Now that we've got the summary out the way, I can finally start reviewing the different parts that make up the show, starting off with the writing. When it comes to the core writing of Starship Goldfish, thumbs up. It's well paced with varying storylines that make each episode released so far memorable in their own right. Who could forget the time when Sam committed genocide, or when Ghostworth killed himself, or when Vela... But what I love most about the writing is the characters. In only 3 episodes, Jason Waite managed to create some of the most layered and funny characters I've ever seen in animation. Sounds like really high praise considering we haven't had the chance to see these characters develop long term, but... well, I'll just use Sam Sweetmilk as an example. When we first meet Sam in the pilot, he's hurtling towards certain danger at breakneck speeds. Not to actually save anybody, as shown by him attacking the wrong ship, but because he saw a big, evil-looking tin can and said, I can fight that. And then he wins, but that's besides the point. The point is that he's reckless. He's brash, he's insensitive, he speaks before he thinks, and above all else, he's childish. But while most characters like this usually drive me up the wall, Sam not only doesn't make me come in contact with vertical structures of any kind, but I love him for these traits, because they are balanced out by scenes that show Sam as a completely different person. The Sam Sweetmilk we see most, this abrasive man who talks about his dick every 10 minutes, is a face. A facade he puts on to hide the fact that he's traumatized, ironically because he deleted all his traumatic memories. In the pilot, when asked about his home planet, he shies away from the question. And when Ghostworth answers it for him, he storms off in a strop. Like when a tiny, angry child is told they aren't allowed any more dino nuggies, but instead of no more nugs, it's because you got no hugs. Even at the end of the episode, when Sam's lust for adventure and adrenaline is broken by a simple question.
They seem fairly advanced. You could ask if they could restore your memories.
And when told they probably can't restore his memories, he turns right back into the Sam we know most. Let's look at another example, since you've already watched these 3 episodes, and I won't be spoiling anything, now will I? In episode 2, Sam spends the first quarter of the episode checking off his bucket list now that his robot dad has locked himself in his room. After a bender that would scare even a divorced drunk, Sam pays a visit to Vela and attempts to seduce her, which doesn't work because it's Sam. But here's the kicker. Sam has no idea what sex actually is. The entire show so far, Sam has been talking about how massive his dick is, and how horny he is, and how sexually appealing he must be. He exhibits a level of confidence that he doesn't, or at least at some point didn't, actually believe to be true, whether it's towards his physical body,
Oh, wow. That's a very small penis.
or his psychological health. And he doesn't even know what sex is in the first place. This is really funny in and of itself, but it also ends up being a great character moment for Sam because this is also the first time he's rejected. For the rest of the episode, Sam is distraught and depressed. His brain is still redeveloping, and he doesn't know how to deal with feelings like this yet. It's a genuinely amazing moment in the show, and acts as a great piece of development for Sam. Also, this line is f***ing hilarious.
Oh no, I'm f***ing juxtaposed.
See this? See this character? This is how you write, people. Take notes. While Ghostworth and Vela aren't as developed as Sam, they are still really interesting and hilarious characters. Ghostworth is a great sidekick to Sam. Not only because he is the perfect foil to Sam's bombastic personality, but because he plays an integral part in Sam's development, and at times vice versa. In episode 1, Ghostworth is killed after grabbing a crystal that Vela sent them to get, and is then resurrected into a different body. And despite being a robot and knowing fully well that he's a robot, Ghostworth is sad, angry. He's mortified by the fact that he died. This is honestly one of my favorite moments of a robot character, in large part because of Kevin McNally's stellar voice acting for him, but also because the writing tells you exactly how human even the androids in this universe are. That is, nearly as much as humans themselves. But as it turns out, that past version of him isn't dead, and also is unbelievably pissed off at Sam. And now that he's all-powerful, can tell Sam how pissed he is before killing him. And it almost works, too. New Ghostworth disables the weapon systems and refuses to enable them again. That is, until Sam pleads and Ghostworth finally gives in, killing, well, himself. And he doesn't say anything else for the rest of the episode. He just walks off and locks himself in a room. And what's nice about this scene is that we see the first bit of proof that Sam does actually care about Ghostworth. It's a really sad, but oddly sweet character moment. Well, okay, until...
That's my room!
Door time locked for 4 days.
Oh, you
When he's not going through strokes of character development, however, Ghostworth is just a really fun character to watch whenever he's on screen. Vela isn't nearly as interesting or as deep as Ghostworth or Sam, but is still a really great character that I can't wait to see more of, with a history I want to learn more about. I want to know why she's stuck on this space station, what her job is, why they are so high security that they can't even have guests who are beaming a distress beacon to them. And above that, I want to see more of Vela as a character. Dude, she's a fucking badass! She jumped into space and shot missiles with a handgun! And somehow, despite how much I love the characters in Starship Goldfish, the comedy, it doesn't top it, but it's really close. The fact that these episodes are as funny as they are while Jason still manages to make the characters as deep as they are should be crowned an achievement. There are so many good jokes in this show, and because you've already watched the show, I don't think it's a bad thing to just show you the jokes instead of explaining them and making them less funny. So if you have not watched the show, go and watch it now. Obviously talking to the people who already watched it because you are smart.
Chance of collision 70%.
I like those odds.
Chance of collision 99%.
I like those odds! It's like a sticky, gross war crime nightmare.
I'm flying at the speed of baked.
Man, it nails it! From the slapstick to the one-liners, Starship Goldfish just nails it. On the flip side is the drama, which come on, do I really need to say it? Obviously, this is a comedy, so drama does take a back seat, but the few times there are dramatic moments, they really make themselves known. I love the scene in the pilot where Ghostworth suggests that the Automatic Empire could restore Sam's memories, and like I said before, his facade breaks. The music lightly chimes in, showing a small spark of hope for Sam, before being told that what he's asking they can't help with. It's wonderfully done, as are many other more dramatic and somber moments in the show so far. For example, the end of episode 2. To conclude on this section, Starship Goldfish is one of, if not the best written pilot I've ever seen in indie animation. It's funny, it's deep, it's action-packed, it's layered, and so much more. The other 2 episodes definitely don't have the same kick that the pilot has, but they are still amazingly written, especially episode 2. Wow, the rest of these sections are so short compared to the writing portion. Whoops. You know the drill, folks. I don't know how to critique animation all too well since I'm more of a writer and less of an artist. And and talented. I'm not talented. But honestly, what is there to say at this point? You've either seen how good the animation is in the pilot, or seen how non-existent it is in the following episodes. To comment on the pilot, man, this looks good! It's definitely one of the cleanest and nicest looking indie pilots on YouTube, especially when it comes to rigged puppet animation. All the characters are super emotive, both in their facial language and their body language. The way it mixes 2D and 3D animation is great too, for example when Vela picks up the big laser gun. Yeah, the animation is near perfect. Sucks that the other episodes don't look anything like this, even when they do include animation, though that's obviously a case of budget constraints. Episodes 1 and 2 are mostly entirely animatics, aside from a few scenes in episode 2 that are animated, and around 3.5 minutes of animation in episode 1. I've not got too much to comment on either, though they do both look good. The animation in episode 1 looks much different from how it does today, and the small animations in episode 2 look just like the animatics, and are usually added to enhance a joke. Let's quickly talk about the backgrounds and character designs. The former are just as spectacular as the animation itself. Though, admittedly, all the locations have a very similar look and feel to them, big empty rooms with white round objects. Even the goldfish, which I kind of feel is a missed opportunity to give the interior a kind of ocean theme. I mean, who designed this thing? Wait, is that a fucking lightning connector? Meanwhile, the character designs have a similar problem. I don't think they're bad by any stretch of the word, but they are basic. The humans are anyway. Yes, I see the hypocrisy, shut up. Sam is a blonde guy. And that's all I can really say about him. Still looks good, and they get plenty of expressions out of him, but a blonde guy is a blonde guy. Vela looks a lot more interesting, with a badass hairdo and cool pointy ears, but there's not much else I can really say about her design. I don't know, maybe I'm just not smarted enough in character design to see the little details, but hey, it's my video. But it's all the other characters where gets really interesting. Ghostworth is just a sick design from head to toe to massive robot ass. Nice. The Avianaut is just amazing. It's a bird, right? Exactly. The only other characters really worth mentioning in this section would probably be the Automatic Empire. While most of them look good, the Admiral of the fleet, Secutor, looks so damn cool. A simple design, but an effective one. So yeah, great animation. Moving on. On top of this being one of the best written and best looking animated pilots I've ever seen, this is also one of the best voiced pilots I've seen too. Though I'll admit, its competition has definitely gotten close. Sam is voiced by the show's creator, Jason Waite. What's interesting is that he only intended to voice Sam for the first episode as they were trying to find a new voice actor. But as it turns out, Jason did too good of a job and will now voice Sam until the end of time. I could not be happier about this fact. I have to assume they said this during the first episode because Jason didn't think he was a good enough voice actor, but I wouldn't have guessed that from watching episode 1 as he kills it every single line. Jason shows such a wide range of emotion in the pilot alone, from excitement to fear to anger to whatever the hell this was.
You cannot defeat Sam Sweetmilk because his penis is too big!
Jason did an amazing job. Kevin McNally voices Ghostworth, and is arguably the biggest name on the project due to his past work. And man! Yeah, he's amazing too. He gives so much life to this tin can of a character, even though 80% of his lines are this disgruntled voice who's tired of Sam's antics. But even those lines McNally gives life to. He sounds disappointed, depressed, curious, sometimes happy, and Kevin McNally aces it throughout the entire show. Great work! Trisha Pierce voices Vayla, and wow, this show has a great voice cast, seriously. While she's not on screen that often in these first 3 episodes, we still see a lot of variety in the way she acts. Hell, in the pilot alone, we see such a wide range of emotions, from loneliness to excitement to anger. She has so much energy, I love it. Up next, the Avianaut. The Avianaut is voiced by Colin McFarlane, and man! He's pretty good. He's in 1 episode and 1 episode only as of right now, but as a voice actor, McFarlane makes his mark immediately. His voice sounds like it was made for the subwoofer. It's downright chilling at times. I really hope he'll still be voicing him once a full series comes around. And finally, for the main cast, Ship, voiced by Patrick Gleason. I like Ship. The music for the pilot was composed by Brian Teo, who actually has some really big credits to his name, both in the indie scene and bigger TV projects. He scored The Legend of Pippi, That Lackadaisy short, and oh no. I haven't watched the Loud House Christmas movie, and I'm never going to, so I can't comment on the music there, but I can comment on it here. It's great! The orchestral arrangements in this episode are stunning. The cold open has this tense orchestral music scoring Sam's attack and escape. One of my favorite tracks from the soundtrack is the opening to the trailer and the ending of the credits, which is just this beautiful violin and bass tune. I especially love the end of the song when an electronic tune rises before the music cuts out entirely. The perfect score to sitting alone in space while having a mental health crisis. Love it. Episode 1 was scored by Patrick Gleason, and it's still pretty good. It relies a lot more heavily on electronic instrumentation, kinda sounds like music you'd hear in an elevator on a massive spaceship or something. I fuck with it. I gotta be honest, while I think the pilot is the best this show has ever sounded, I can't get over how much I love some of the music in this first episode. Super lo-fi, I dig it. Finally, episode 2 was composed by Tom Carell and Oswald Skilbard. That's such a badass last name, holy fuck. Once again, this episode uses electronic music as its backing track. It's still pretty lo-fi, but still pretty good. Not much else I can say about this that I couldn't say about the previous episode. The sound design is good in all 3 episodes, but the pilot is a significant step up. As a sci-fi nerd, Starship Goldfish's sound scratches the itch I have for cool laser sounds, and spaceship sounds, and space sounds like... To conclude on this review, that was really an analysis on the writing with some comments about the rest of the 3 episodes scattered here and there. Starship Goldfish is easily the best animated pilot that I've ever seen. It's perfect. From the script, to the voice acting, to the way Sam thrusts in the air for a violent victory dance. And somehow, I'm still waiting for a full show. It's been 5 years since the pilot released, and while it wasn't a smash hit or anything, it's still loved by thousands of people. Every single time I see someone talking about this show, they just talk about how good it is. That's all I've done for 20 minutes, and I would gladly do it again, because if I have not made it clear enough, Starship Goldfish is amazing. Before the pilot even begins, Sam comes on screen to tell the audience that what we're about to watch is going to be changed, in order to set it apart from other shows. I'm admittedly not a fan of this, because the core concept and dynamic of Sam and Ghostworth works so well in its current form. To change that would shift the dynamic. But at the same time, I think I've made it pretty clear that I trust Jason as a writer more than anything. So whatever he cooks up for the next iteration of Starship Goldfish is practically guaranteed to be incredible. Speaking of what's next for Sam, Ghostworth, and Vela, updates have been, I don't want to say slow, because it's more non-existent. The last look at new Starship Goldfish material we got was on July 24th, 2022, where it's Jason saying he's trying to learn Toon Boom Harmony so we can join in on the animation team, with a little screenshot of Sam doing the YMCA. I want to see that, please send that to me. Since the updates have been so slow though, we have no earthly idea when the next episode will release. In the meantime though, if you like what you've seen, spread the word. Tell people about this show. Donate to their Patreon. Support the team in any way you can. I have been constantly re-watching these 3 episodes for over 4 years at this point, and honestly, there is no show I'd rather see get made than Starship Goldfish. The pilot is perfection. To me, anyway. And hey, I think if you gave it a shot, you'd really like it. Don't you agree, viewer? Wait a minute, did you just nod? You dumb little so-and-so? That means you ignored my instructions at the start of the video. You know what that means.